It's good to see everybody tuning in to the Toma channel. That sounds so funny. But yeah, today I wanted to start that conversation again, or to pick up that conversation sharing about depression and going through divorce and how challenging and very difficult that was for me, and I know it is for other men. So I want to say I hope everyone's doing well. I'm looking forward to sharing this. I kind of put it off because as I began to reflect on some of the things, it was pulling up stuff that I really wasn't ready to talk about at the time. So I had to just slap myself, kind of get myself in check and say, Tomo, what are you really doing this for? And I need to be transparent and real when I'm sharing this with everyone. So that's why I'm just like hands-free today. I'm chilling in the chair so I can relax and just open up and just share and just be me. So where do I begin? I know I left off with saying that I'm going to come back and talk about how I was suicidal and how I was so low and I was depressed, not just sad. That's what I want to talk about. Start with that today. Just how sadness and depression are not the same thing. Sadness is one of the symptoms, kind of. Because you could be sad because your team lost. You could be sad because, I don't know, you burnt something when you're cooking in the stove or something like that. Or you be sad, because you didn't wear the right clothing, and it was cold outside. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that are very circumstantial that lead to sadness, that depression is entirely other world and on a whole nother level. So I want to start with that. I want to educate on depression and how some people out there, you will have these symptoms, and I'm telling you, you should go talk to someone. Somebody, you gotta talk to me, but somebody like me or someone that's a mental health professional, whether it be a counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist, or therapist, or a marriage and family therapist. There are good ones everywhere. So I would recommend talking to someone, talking to your insurance provider if you want them to cover it. But, whatever you have to do, but just talk to somebody. If I'm sharing some things with you and it's resonating with you and you're like, wow, I'm in that place right now. That's why I'm sharing this, because I know as men, we like, man, I'm all right. We shake it off and stuff, but it's like, man, this was hard to shake. And that's the difference between sadness and depression. You could be sad, go to sleep, and wake up, and you're like, oh man, it's a brand new day. Hey, I'm good. When you get depressed, there is no shaking it off. When you're depressed, there is no, well, I can just take a pill and make it better. No. So please, if you're self-medicating, I strongly recommend that you also talk to someone. All research and data shows that when you combine the pharmaceutical care with mental health care and strategies and things like that, I'm not trying to go into that because this is not that type of a piece right here. I'm not trying to be so clinical. This is more about life and me and what I went through. Let me focus. Told me to get it together. But yeah, this is what I was in a place of where I felt like I was in a constant fog, that where even when I was having fun, the fog was still there. That was a part that was so amazing and so astounded me because I'm just a naturally joyful and a jovial person, but it was just a level of downness and darkness and heaviness in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind that was like weighing my whole, like it was like boom, like it was like this. Like I felt like all the time there was always something heaviness on me. There was always, it felt like there was a heaviness, there was a burden, there was a fog in my head. Like there was a lot of times where it was difficult for me to even stay focused. Yes, that's another symptom. So I was going through that and I was like, man, something's not right. And then I remember like waking up And I remember working with somebody, and they told me one time, because I was trying to get a sense of what it was like. And I asked them to describe it, and the way they described it was very similar to what I was going through. One, they say there was a fog, a haziness, like a darkness. Like it seemed like it was always dark, even though during light times. But I think the part that really triggered with me when I was thinking was how it felt like I was swimming and I was drowning, and I could barely keep my head above the water. Like my nose was the only thing that could be out. Other than that, I felt like I was drowning. Like that's different than sadness. That's different than a mood. You just get in a sad mood. Some people say they're in a depressed mood, so they're just down and sad for a couple of hours. To be honest, there's a lot of people that just want to be sad. Some people just want to be down. Some people want to say they're depressed. Some people want to put themselves in that state, and they will themselves to it. They actually begin to set their lives and begin their minds and their thought process to be that way. I'm not talking about that right there. I'm talking about when you want to stop feeling down, when you want to stop feeling that heaviness, when you want to stop feeling like you barely tread in water, and you want to just take a deep breath. You want to get out of that water, get from under that cloud. You want a sunny day, and it's never coming. It feels like it's not in sight. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying I would be in bed for days at a time, no shower, no motivation to get up, not wanting to do anything. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to do documentation. I didn't want to see clients. I didn't want to see anybody. I do love Don't Head Either, so it's not like that. Like, that man was huge. I'm very grateful for him, how he helped keep me afloat during this dark time when the business was collapsing. That man was, doing everything he could, him and his family. I love his wife, Donya Rebecca. So grateful for them. I'm not talking about that aspect of it. I'm not saying how I wasn't working hard and trying to work with the people around me, but it's like no matter what I did and even what I was doing, there was an emptiness, a sensation of lack of fulfillment, an overwhelming sense of no satisfaction in anything. The only thing that would wake me up a little bit and give me a spark was my children. I'm going back to that. How God used my children and working out, weight training. And my boy Irmo, Aaron Walker, if you're looking at this dude, appreciate you. Love you, man. It was amazing how those two elements is how Toma made it out. As you're looking at this video, I want you all to think of what you can do and what you need to do to get out. I also talked to some people, got some help. I'm not saying I didn't do that. So I want you to do that too. But you have to figure out what it is within you that's going to help you and give you that sense of I'm climbing, that sense of I'm making it, that sense of the water is I'm able to try to get above the water, or I can see through the clouds. I'm not there yet, but I can at least see, And that's something I would definitely want to say, how it wasn't overnight. Oh my gosh. I remember weeks. I didn't want to get that phone call. I didn't want to wake up and go work out. I didn't want to go lift. Man, I didn't want to get up and shower and make it look like my house was presentable because my kids were coming over. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted the pain and the hurt to just stop. There was this, it's like a numbing kind of pain, but you're not numb to where you don't feel anything. You're just numb to where you try to feel. And it's like that laziness, like that lethargic thing that people talk about. Yes, these are all, please make notes of all this stuff that I'm talking about, because these are symptoms of depression, where it's stuff that just doesn't go away, where you have days of being down, not a few hours or moments, but to my days, where you have an overwhelming sense of like it is too much, being overwhelmed. And just life in of itself was overwhelming for me because my life as I knew it had ended. I wanted to be a father. I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be married. I didn't see not once would you have told me, what was that, 15 years prior to the divorce finalized, not once would you have told me during that time that divorce was going to be my end. Even toward the end, I was like, you think maybe, we could try, like, but I mean, that's something within myself. Like, I'm always an optimist, thinking maybe it could possibly work. Because I've just seen stuff happen in my life there's no way it should be happening, but it would happen. So I was always hopeful and thinking maybe, something like that could happen.